Here we go. 5 seconds. Okay, now an Awakener 8. Let's try to get my fastest time. So yesterday I uploaded my fastest Uber Elder. We're gonna start at 10 seconds. Let's go. Fastest Uber Elder yesterday. That's a little bit of lag. It's fine. Little bit. We're good. We're not good. A little bit of lag. It's fine. We phased him pretty quick. We chill over here while we wait. So this is my Carrion Golems versus Awakener 8. You guys haven't seen this. This is my build guide. I tank most shit. I big chill, and then when I'm ready, I come around to proc him. I don't really rush spawning him because the storms are one of the worst mechanics in this fight, and so if you just always take your time in between phases. Yeah, the only part, like one of the biggest parts where you can die in this build is the storms. I find their movement and stuff to be really weird, and it tilts the shit out of me. It's the only way I die. Do you see how I just randomly started going down? Okay, so yeah, fast Awakener times are literally based on storms not screwing you over. Like, what is this, dude? Oh yeah, now they move away. Thanks. Bye. But yeah, our build against Osiris Awakener 8 is sick because we can tank the triple beam. Storms are annoying, but just leave some space between you and the storms and you won't have an issue. It's only when you're trying to rush it and you stand next to the storm that you're going to have an issue, usually, with this build. We can survive most of the random garbage. Okay, let's try to burst him as fast as we can in the final phase. It's pretty slow. Got him. So yeah, final phase, he doesn't even get to do an attack. We got an Ivory Watchstone and a Thread of Hope. Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Harvest League 3.11. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay part of the video. So that was to start a Minotaur map. I had the mods in the map. It was good. I ran through it. It was really smooth. We insta-kill the Minotaur. We insta-kill Phoenix. We insta-kill Baron. And then we did an Awakener that was pretty slow. But either way, it was clean. So this is the end game Carrion Golems in 3.11 build guide. How you guys doing? I hope you guys have been enjoying Harvest. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot more now. This is completely insane what I've put together today. Took my day off yesterday. Today, started this morning. Just been working on this for hours and hours and hours. This took a long time. I hope this helps a lot of people enjoy Carrion Golems to its finest, to its fullest. Here we go. Here's the build guide. So we're going to start it off talking about the clear speed, because so many people care about this. So you guys saw a little snippet of the clear speed, but basically to sum it up, all I do is I run through the map and everything dies. If I'm killing the bosses that quickly, imagine normal monsters, normal bosses, it's really easy. So the clear speed, I can say without a doubt, it's better than my zombies and stone golem build. This clear is insane, and you may ask, Ethan, but why are Carrion so good? It's because they use Leap Slam. So they have a Leap Slam on a really low cooldown because you're using the harmonies that lower the cooldown of the skill of the Carrion Golem, and then he goes crazy and he's leaping and he's AoEing and he has a long range auto attack to where it feels like he's Irelia from League of Legends. You know that bullshit auto attack range? You know what I'm talking about. This thing is busted, and it doesn't show in POB, and that's my favorite part. Clear speed. Oh, single target. See, back in the day, like a couple leagues ago, you used to ask people and they'd say Stone Golems for single target bossing and Carrion Golem for clear speed. And you know what? No, fuck that shit. It's better than zombies and Stone Golem at single target as well. It's the best minion. It's the best one of these, dude. It's the best melee goddamn single target. Holy shoot. Okay, so that's my opinion of the single target. It's just insane, trust me. And the clear speed, you're gonna love them. Survivability and hardcore viability. This is where we gotta actually like add a lot more here. So I've prepared all this. This is important questions that people have and things that people bring up that I just have to go over. So I think it has better survivability than both my zombie and stone golem build, without a doubt. And it's definitely not immortal. It's not unkillable and doesn't replace how broken Spirit Offering was. So this isn't comparing, because it wouldn't be fair, guys. Comparing this against Spirit Offering isn't fair. You literally have to compare it against the zombie build without Spirit Offering. And then the zombie build was so squishy. It was awful. It felt terrible compared to what we have here with the Stone Golems. The regen feels better than Liege. And then Carrion Golem Clear is better than Stone Golems and it has the same survivability as Stone Golems. So why wouldn't you go this? And then people will ask about the hardcore viability. So current version is not very hardcore viable, but could be used in hardcore if not pushed into bad situations. So not deep delving, which would be like maybe past 600. 1200 is definitely rip. 1500 you're gonna rip. Not super juiced content, so you ain't doing no like mirrored fractured maps like AFK not dying. Yeah, no, that's not happening either. You could change it to be a lot tankier for maybe that, for hardcore specific if you wanted to. Maybe you don't need to insta kill every single boss except for Awakener and Uber Elder. But for Blight, you know, Blight, you ain't gonna die. Blight, it's amazing. Low delving is fine. Darkness farming is pretty good with the build because the regen feels good. It's way better than the zombies with the leech. Trust me in the way. If I rebuilt zombies, guys, I wouldn't even build the Baron. That's how much I don't care about the leech anymore. It's like we've moved past it. Regen is broken. So that's my opinion of the survivability and the hardcore viability. So if we still had Spirit Offering, obviously we would probably be trying to use it in a golem build. It like wouldn't be exclusive to zombies, stone golems, anything. It would be Necromancer, Mistress of Sacrifice, Spirit Offering, Abuse. With you could even take the Ascendancy to do Elementalist and Necro, and you'd get the Mistress of Sacrifice plus 1 golem. So the middle ground between the two. That shit would be insane if Spirit Offering still existed. Everyone would do it. So expense, league starter, SSF viability. This current version for Harvest is expensive. Harvest crafts. Tons and tons and tons of min-maxing and harvest crafts, at least a few mirrors. As a league starter summoner with no items, decently smooth league start, and we scale into buying cold iron points in the Primordial Jewels, Anima Stone, Primordial Might, Eminence, Harmonies. They were pretty cheap, even with all the attention on our build, and cold iron points were like 10C, and they're equivalent to like, two of them are equivalent to 20x endgame item. Like, it's so silly, even with Harvest. Like our current staff is only 20% more damage over a cold iron point, and it costs us 20x of crafting, and it sells for like 40 or something. So then SSF viability, this well, because we have built it in a way that we're abusing unique items and we're golems and you have golem jewels, it's not that viable. But if you can get the cold iron points and the jewels in SSF, then you're smooth sailing. You're past the hard part. So if you use a build to farm up the items for this build, and then you can play this build, oh, it's going to feel really good. SSF viability, So I tried SSF for like 20 hours and don't have a cold iron point or a primordial jewel. Possible solution I haven't tried yet. Obviously, if I came back to SSF, I would have some more new things to try, which is farming Quarry seeds for harvest to chance for free, because you can get there's some seeds that give you, for example, link an item 10 times and keep the best result, or like chance an item and keep the best result. And so if it chances an item, it'll try to turn it into a unique, and that's 10 free attempts, where if you try to get 10 scours and 10 orbs of chances from just farming normally, it's really slow. So I think Quarry might be the solution to my problem. And then I also found out, I was watching the Bay class, and they were talking about the new league and how it's a trade league. Like, most things are going to be tradable, more things are going to be tradable. They might be making incursions, like, you know, the temple. Maybe they'll make double corruptions tradable, guys. All the stuff I've been saying is right. I'm a fucking genius, again. For free, using Harvest Point to get the Cold Iron points. And then you can also, in SSF, use... you can farm the divination card, the Primordial, and there's specific maps. So if you want, you can look up the Primordial div card, and then you can find what specific maps. There's like 8 of them, and yeah, so it's just general mapping. And this is my opinion of SSF. It's very hard for our build. Path of building. I'll show you guys how to do this now. So this, to use Path of building, you can search my name, which is my profile name. Or you can use this paste bin. This is the paste bin for this one specifically. So if somehow, I don't know, either way, if you don't want to go in the description, it's in the description too, but it's right here. You could use the paste bin and type it in yourself. But anyways, I'll show you. I have my build here. And so we will do it together because I know how many people want to know how to use POB. So let's say you just open it up. This is what it's going to look like, and mine is going to look different because I have POB community fork. So you need to go to Google and search POB community fork, and then you can download the extra add-on if you want. It's really easy, but just POB, simple. All you do is type in the name I told you, the game report, start. You would select Harvest. I only have one character. It's level 100, Elementalist, because I love this so much. I'll even show you. Look. Okay, dude. And then here we have... this skill tree. I select the cluster jewels. That's how I started. I wasn't saying it while I was doing it because I don't know. I guess I enjoy doing POBs. Because I've done so many guides. Are your minions always on full life? This enables the renewal because your minions have to be on full life for renewal. It also would enable if you use damage on full life support, but we're not using it right now. So this helps renewal. And then Feeding Frenzy for the 10% more damage, move speed, attack speed that I talked about in my Feeding Frenzy video. And we have Power and Frenzy charges. That's from my Spectres. So we're using 2 Carnage Chieftains and 2 Host Chieftains from Ashen Fields. That's why they're linked to... I'll explain it right now. That's why the Spectres are linked to Blood Magic. It's so that the Carnage Chieftains and Host Chieftains from Act 7 Ashen Fields... will use their health instead of mana to spam their abilities, so they don't, because Spectres don't have mana regen, like very good mana regen, and so they have good life regen because of our skill tree and our items and stuff. So then they can also leech their life, and so they can spam their ability, and they're not going to kill themselves. Don't worry about that. The cost isn't that high to where it's just high enough to where they don't have enough mana. You have the Mame from your Chaos Golem Stone Golem link. You have the extra Mame there. And then you also have Intimidate from the Awakened Melee Fizz in the main big build. Awakened Melee Fizz gives 10% chance for Intimidate when it has quality. So Intimidate, and then I always assume I'm fighting Cyrus, just because then we assume the high big bosses, big PogChamp. And so we deal 1.5. That's how you import my POB. This is my skill tree. We're going to be going into each thing more specifically, like the jewels and everything, but I haven't actually talked about the skill tree. So to explain it, I use 2 large, 4 medium. This is the skill tree. We like Unwavering Stance while mapping, so we're stun immune. I don't use it in Blight because you don't need it. I have all this pathing for jewel sockets. We have life here, life, so much life, all the life I can literally get on the skill tree. We get life here, extra golem. I still use Death Attunement for the extra Spectre and Zombie. It's pretty fun. We Anointed Ravenous Horde. on my Amulet. And so we have 1.5, but this isn't really 1.5. So I talked about this before, but last season I had 2 million, and then in game it felt like 50 million with all of my golems. And so I don't know, dude. This is like 40, but it feels even better than that. I don't know how to explain it other than the POB's broken. So we have 5,364 life. I'll mention one thing. This is with my Stygian Vice Jewel. This isn't using the Headhunter. If you wanted, you can just use a Headhunter. And so you would change an Eminence to the jewel that's in the belt. To the Ghastly Jewel in the belt. And then you would add a Headhunter instead of the belt. And then you have your Headhunter version. And so that works too. And then you're ready for mapping. And so then you would have 1.4, you have your Headhunter, and you can steal buffs with your Headhunter with your minions, and it feels good. So this is the skill tree. That's pretty okay. Be going into the jewels and stuff later, and the items later. I have a gear section and jewel section, but this is just the POB. I'll show you one more thing where we have, you can show the minion stats. So we have 100% Impale on the Carrion Golems. You can see all the stats of all the information of reses, etc. You can switch to zombies to see their reses. So I'll show you in mine specifically. I have Raise Zombie. We have their reses. 80 res and 70 chaos. It's pretty sick. It's really good. It's really good. Okay. Next, back to the presentation. Alright. We have the Ascendancies. Liege of the Primordials first. Elemancer second. Paragon of Calamity. And then Pendulum of Destruction. I could actually just... While we have this. So, Liege of the Primordial, I kind of already explained it with the leveling. In the leveling section, but basically golems are immune to LE. You get an extra golem, and you get increased effect of the golems, which is the life regen and the physical damage reduction from the chaos golem, and the extra damage to your non-golem minions. Elemancer gets you an extra golem buff effect, elemental ailment immunity. So you with 6 golems, you're completely immune to elemental ailments. So no ignite, no freeze, no chill, all that, it's gone. Paragon of Calamity reduces the most recent LE hit, like if you get hit again, by 8% of the same LE. So if you get hit by a fire and then get hit by another fire, the next one's 8% less damage. Pendulum of Destruction for the increased area for our auras. There's nothing else better. That's what I use. Those are my Ascendancies. Next, Bandits. I kill them all for the extra points. Pantheons. We use Soul of Lunaris because in the build we use... I'll be going over this later, but we use a Brass Dome, so we're already crit immune. So we don't need Soul of Solaris. So we use Lunaris for the physical damage reduction for nearby enemies. I like it. The move speed's really nice for mapping, and you get chain immunity, which in delving is crucial. Soul of Shakari helps with in our build. Okay, so first, the most important for Blight is Burning Ground immunity, but in our build we have an item, a boot, that has Burning Ground immune, so we don't need it anymore. That's why our build's so cool. So we can use like Shakari again, even if it got nerfed. And it makes it so you can't get more than 5 poisons, which is really cool. It also reduces the chaos damage taken. And if you don't know, in our build we're using Divine Flesh, which means half of the LE is taken as chaos. And that means we're taking a lot of chaos damage. And so reduced chaos damage is really nice. We have Gruthkul if you want to get less physical damage reduction. I sometimes use this. I switch between Gruthkul and Shakari, and then if you want to AFK Blight and stand still, but you already have Burning Ground immunity, you can use Tukohama while stationary, gain basically 8% physical damage reduction and like 2% regen. It's a pretty cool Pantheon. This is what I recommend. So Lunaris and Shakari is what I use, but Abberath if you don't have the Burning Ground. Movement and utility, I use Flame Dash because it's an instant long-range dash and has multiple charges. And then you can use a 120 phase run, higher level for more move speed, 20-20 increased duration, 20-20 second wind equals permanent phase run. My level 18 is 51% increased move speed. Lower level, less dex requirement. Cast when damage taken setup is my level 1 cast when damage taken. This is really important. You need it to be level 1 so it only triggers level 38 or lower gems. And then it only requires 500 damage to be taken. And then the Immortal Call is, it'll get triggered and it makes you take 26% less physical and LE damage. This is great against the Fireball and Blight, for example, or just a big hit. And it stops you from getting one-shotted. 10-20 Frostwall blocks projectiles. So if you get hit by an enemy, let's say you're here and the enemy's here, it puts a frost wall in between you and the enemy perfectly in line and blocks more projectiles from hitting you. Auras. I use 21-20 Pride, a 21-20 Summon Skitterbots, 21-23 Dread Banner, and a 6-20 Awaken Generosity. Obviously you can get 21-23s of these and 6-23 of the Awaken Generosity, but this is what I had. Keybind. I use Phase Run on left click. Flame Dash is E. I walk with right click. Easy clap, that's it. There's no damage, it's just moving. It's all mobility. Easy clap, let's loot. Okay, and then for my extra stuff, Control E for zombies, just respawn them, but they don't die unless I log out and log back in, because they don't persist through logout. Auras, Control Q, Control W, Control R to toggle them easily if you die. Because it's quicker than switching to put on your auras, and only having 3 auras is really nice if you die. So softcore viable. Mapping strategy. I run around for the League mechanics, look for the boss, collect seeds, use Unwavering Stance for stun immunity, phase run running fast, and I grab a Headhunter, replace my Stratagem Belt, and put the Abyss Jewel into my skill tree instead of the Eminence Jewel next to Barbarism. Bossing strategy. I run around in a circle, but no, seriously, each boss is specific and has their own mechanics. Most of this build's power comes from running around and still dealing top DPS so we can actually dodge mechanics and move around. Couple examples: Awakener 8, stay out of the storms, avoid the degen on the ground, run out of the meteor with your nice move speed during Cyrus, run to the side during the triple beam. Unwavering Stance stops it from stunning you so you can actually run out of it even if it hits you once, while basically the rest of the fight is irrelevant. Brain dead gameplay is what I create, boys. Leveling tree, gear, gems. I have the leveling tree here. I also will clip to that now. Enjoy. Alright, it's time for the leveling tree gear guide part of this. So this was also a league starter. So I basically transformed my 3.10 league starter, the one that I announced for 3.11. I changed it and updated it with all the stuff I've learned from playing this build. So I put it at 65 just to assume the HP, okay? So it's fine. But either way, the first 12 points, this is for the Carrion Golem leveling tree. I go to Sacrifice, and this is assuming in your skills that you start with Zombie, you go to Raging Spirit 4 to 10, then Summon Skeleton 10 to 18, you get Flesh Offering 12, Summon Skeletons 8, this is what it looks like at 18, etc. So I'm just showing you so that we get an understanding of where we're at in the skill tree. So 12 points, I take Sacrifice, that's my priority. Then I fill out the stuff that I'm really close to, so 4 points for all this damage with Enduring Bond is insane. The 3 points to get Lord of the Dead to have an extra zombie and skeleton this early on. All this life, because I'm right here, it's 1 point for life. 1 point for 10% damage, strength, int. Life, really good. 25 points. 43, this is where you have a couple options. So you can go down to the Grave Pack to get more damage, or you could grab the quick recovery right away, or you could get Indomitable Army. This is what I didn't do last season. So at this point in the game, I thought that my shit would be surviving. By shit, I mean my minions would be surviving, my zombies, my specters. I thought they would be living. And so I didn't use this last season in my leveling guide, league starter, but I told people to take it after. Like, I told people after the fact that they should do it, Whenever they came to me and they said, hey man, my stuff's dying, I told them to take this. So the reason is, on your Spectres and Zombies and stuff, they're missing 35 LE res. We get 10, 8, and 15. So we get 33 from the skill tree. They're missing 2. They'll have 73, so they take 27% damage instead of 25. It's like 2 res missing. It's okay. It's not a big deal compared to if we didn't have this, we'd have to run this thing called Purity of Elements and Aura. I was running it in my leveling guide, and so the problem with Purity of Elements in the leveling guide, to rely on it to cap your minions, is the radius of the Purity of Elements is bad, and it goes up as you level it and as you add quality to it, and so it's actually not a very reliable way of capping the reses of your other minions, non-golems. At 43, we also get the first Ascendancy point. We use Liege of the Primordial for the golems are immune to LE damage, so they don't need elemental res, which is really funny. And then you can get the increased effect of buffs from your golems and the extra golem. It's PogChamp. So this is what I do. Grab the Indomitable Army. You can grab this first if your shit's still dying, and once it stops dying, then you'll feel better. You can get damage or you can get life. Next one, 58 points. So you go get your Death Attunement, your Golem Commander, extra life, and so Death Attunement for the extra Spectre, Zombie, Skeleton, it's insane, the life, and an extra Golem and the Golem effect. So now at this point, at like, what level are we in this? 35. So at 34, at this point, this is when you have 3 Golems being able to summon. So one from this, and 1 base Golem. So you can have 3 Golems. And so you would ask me, okay, what should be my first 3 golems? Yeah, you just got them, so you have to buy it from the person at 34 or whatever, because you only get 1 from the quest. So you would use Stone Golem, Chaos Golem, and a Carrion, all 3. And I would recommend that. And then you'd get the regen from the Stone Golem, the physical damage reduction from the Chaos Golem, and you'll have the Carrion Golem extra damage for your skellies and your zombies. It's pretty good. Next, 71. I go and get the Chaos Res life, get the extra Redemption Righteous Army. This is a beautiful skill tree. Big difference that we made was this Indomitable Army. So little points spent, and it honestly makes a hell of a difference. Get the extra life, get the Fearsome Force, Dex, Strength. We got the extra Constitution life. Then we get the whole life wheel. We get down to more life, life regen, life, LE res. This is where you get, wait, I skipped it. At this one, 71, you get your second Ascendancy point, which was the Elemancer, extra golem. And then at the 108, you get your third Ascendancy. We take Paragon of Calamity for some reduced LE damage taken. Yeah, so we fill out all the other stuff like the life and res and shit. 116 is where we get some extra life and we get jewel clusters, jewel sockets. And this is where I socketed in a taunt jewel, a blind jewel, a corrupted blood jewel, just to show you like base things that are useful in this build. And then our damage, and this was only a 4-link Carrion Golem throughout the whole thing. People will ask for the leveling guide. When did you switch out into Carrion? Well, when I started getting my Primordial Jewels. So once I got Anima Stone, Primordial Might. No, I didn't even have Primordial Might. I had Anima Stone and an Eminence and like a Harmony and maybe another Eminence, like 2 Eminence, 1 Harmony, and the Anima Stone. And I switched out Skeletons for Carrion Golem and used my endgame 6-link basically. With Feeding Frenzy though, instead I added a Feeding Frenzy because you need they need to be able to have aggressive without might, without the Primordial Might, so you would actually take melee physical damage here. If you were to 6-link, this is what it would look like. 54k. And then it would be with at least 1 Anima Stone, 2 Eminence, 1 Harmony, or 3 Harmony, or 3 Eminence, or a Might, an Eminence, and a Harmony, whatever. 3 Primordial Jewels that aren't Anima Stone, and that's how that would work. For now, this is in the glove, and you would use skeletons as your main carry. This is just supportive stuff, and then I switched out Purity of Elements for Skitterbots in the leveling guide, so we have more damage and we have the chill, and so we won't have to worry about Purity of Elements. We'll have way worse reses, but with Harvest Crafting anyways this league, this is really OP. I think it's really easy to get your reses, especially Harvest Crafting is broken, I promise. Harvest Crafting is broken. And so then, knowing that we didn't need as much reses, we could go for more damage, and really good leveling guide. The gear, I showed the skills, basically, but summon skeletons at level 18, it was Val Skelly, melee splash, minion damage, melee fizz. Spectres, we get at 31, we get the raised spectre and the blood magic. You can give them minion life with the zombie, give zombie minion life. Make them supports, probably give them minion life. You could use elemental army to cap them if you don't want to take the indomitable army on the skill tree. It also saves points. Stone golem, chaos golem, you can add maim and feeding frenzy whenever you want. Feeding frenzy to the skeletons because they need to be aggressive and they get the dashing. You could just summon the skeleton on top of a monster and it doesn't need feeding frenzy, I guess. Pride as our aura, summon Skitterbot's aura, and we use Dread Banner with generosity. And then we have a Desecrate just to summon things. You don't actually need to have it socketed. You could take it out, but it's nice. And then you can use it for the Flesh Offering too, to make corpses or to summon zombies if they're dying. And then we have our Carrion Golem and the Flame Dash. Big links at the end of the story. We put our Maim and our Feeding Frenzy on the Chaos and the Stone Golem because they're already aggressive from the Might. We get here we use Meat Shield Blood Magic. I instead would recommend minion life until you get the helmet, and then with the helmet you could run elemental army or meat shield, whichever you prefer. This is our 6-link carry skellies, pride, dread banner, generosity, flame dash, flesh offering, skitterbots, and here's our carry on, which we're trying to already convert into a carry. That's the leveling part of the video. Thanks, hope you enjoy the build. Oh yeah, I forgot to show real quick. The HP, when I put this to level the 65 thing, which is 87, you get 87, you're 65, you're going into Katava or whatever, 3400 HP. The items that I put on were these +1 physical skill gem wands. That's what I recommend. You can get this from crafting a item level 2 wand with physical crafts. It took me like 25 tries maybe. Life. I just wanted to show what like normal life crafts are and not really real items. Here's instant recovery, life flask with bleed immune, basalt, increased duration is really good. You got to get curse immune somewhere. You have gain 1 charge when you're hit by an enemy is good on granite flask. You could also use a Rumi's silver flask with reduced charges, so it goes 30 charges or less, and you could get poison somewhere, bleeding. Curse. You don't need to worry about freeze because you're an elementalist and you're immune to elemental ailments. You can get increased move speed and effect, or a bunch of mods like reduced charges or increased charge recovery, or anything you really want that you find useful on Flasks. These are the Flasks I use, except for eventually I switch off the Divine Flask when I feel like I don't need it for survivability anymore. And that's the leveling part. And we're back. Relevant map modifiers. Physical reflect, sad face. If you ran 2 rings with no fizz reflect, like reduce fizz reflect of at least 100% total, then you don't worry about fizz reflect. If you convert the damage to chaos using triad grips, but then you can't run brutality, and impale sucks, and it's just not worth it. So fizz reflect is a big no-no. You could run a chest plate that has 100% crit, 100% fizz reflect reduction for you and your minions. That also works, but honestly, I skip fizz reflect. Less recovery is annoying, but it's fine. Cannot regen is annoying, but it's fine. You can just run a life flask and a mana flask. That's one of the reasons why I run a mana flask. You don't need the life flask because you can actually run through an entire map without ever getting hit, because the clear on the Carrion Golems is so good. Gear and price disclaimer. Price, multiple mirrors. Now we go into the gear. So for this, I'm going to go into the game because I think it's the best way to show it. And so my gear specifically, I will start with the helmet. This was one of the first things I crafted. Not this one specifically, but in general I wanted the helmet to be able to get this extra +3 and 20 minion life on the Spectre and zombies so that they would live more. Like, for example, mine now have 51,000 life on the zombies, which is pretty good, and I was able to sock it in the elemental army, like I said, so I don't have to take Indomitable Army and Sacrifice, and I can take the 10% Jewel, and that caps the res. It's really cool. But either way, the helmet is Bone Helmet, item level 86, Elder Helm. The Shaper is irrelevant, don't worry about it, you don't want Shaper. It's a Carrion Golem enchant for 40% damage. There's other options for sure that you could go, like reduced mana reserve of auras, or like whatever. Not sure exactly what you... Maybe a Stone Golem effect, Chaos Golem effect. I don't know. A lot of options. But basically, Stone Golem, I use Summon Carrion enchant damage. Bone Helmet for the minion damage instead of Hubris Circlet is the other option. And the reason I didn't use the Hubris Circlet, I did start with a Hubris Circlet in the season, but then I decided not to go ESCI. I just wanted to stay alive, and this shit's really cool. And so +3 minion gems, 20 minion life, 99 life. Nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage, fire res, and I crafted lightning chaos. The fire and chaos and lightning is because I needed that. That's just specific to mine, so you could do those last because harvest crafting's OP, but the rest of it's what I would prioritize. So the +3 is important, the minion life 20, the life, and the nearby physical is all the important stuff, and the bone helm base. Okay, next, the amulet. So you can use a Dex Strength amulet. It's actually better than this, or a Dex amulet if you have Dex problems in your build. I allocate Ravenous Horde to do that. That is on the skill tree. It shows you it's 2 Opalescent, 1 Verdant, 2 Anointed. You go to Cassia, you talk to her, give her the oils and this. Easy. I went for life, T2, not finished yet. +1 int skill gems, +1 physical skill gems. So int skill gems is blue skill gems. Physical is the one that has the physical tag. So this Carrion Golem has a physical tag. And then we also have physical damage reduction. And the lightning res is because I needed it. And minimum endurance charge. I craft... So this is, obviously, I get an extra endurance charge, which gives me 4% physical damage reduction and 4% LE res of all LE. It's really awesome. That's what I recommend for the Ami. I have videos on how to craft each of these, by the way. That's why I'm not going into the specifics on how to craft each one. I'm just showing you what I have. Item level 82 base. This is a Hunter Warlord Ami. I have a video on how to craft the +1 intelligence physical skill gems from this season. I have a video on how to craft every single thing except for the belt. It's coming soon. Don't worry. I promise. But yeah, so I have a helmet video, I have the amulet video. This is the ring I made. I started with a +3 socketed gems, 50 dex, got life, chaos res, minion damage from the Redeemer Exalted Orb. Easy clap, crafted on the endurance charges, and this was a sick ring. The +3 to pride only gives 10k damage out of the 1.5 million. 10k. It's useless. Don't worry about the +3. Dex is bigger priority. I've got it on a few things to make up for high dex, so I could use a higher level phase run. We use Profane Proxy in the build with cold res, lightning res, and what happens here is you put you have your Skitterbot in your build, and when you have this ring on your left ring, it changes the chilling one to this curse, which is a 29 vulnerability. Obviously, I can get a 21 vulnerability and it'll make it 30. And then Skitterbots get the vulnerability all the time. This gives the increased damage, the maim, the bleed, PogChamp. It's pretty sick. So I like this ring for the guaranteed vulnerability in the build. No need for an Animate Guardian. And then I anoint both the rings with an extra meteor. This is really important for Blight. It helps a lot when you don't have the damage yet, and that is a Verdant and an Opalescent. Okay, then talk about the glove. I went for a +2 socketed minion gems glove, so this is a Delve mod. You get this from delving. So it's a 83 Delve mod. and then it had 51 dex on it, which is T2. So again, just like the ring, it's a disgusting base that I crafted on, and then I crafted on life, fire res, chaos res, and synthesized it and got minion damage. It was pretty cool. I have the video on how to craft that as well. I like this skill of a lot. Priority was my +2 because I get 2 levels on the Chaos Golem and the Stone Golem for more life and no extra physical damage reduction, but extra survivability on them. The dex was super awesome. The life is super awesome. Next, the boot. I have a video on this too. It's a Warlord boot. So the priority was the Burning Ground and the move speed, and then we were able to craft on life, cold res, chaos res, and the physical damage reduction again. And this was a 2-tone boot, and the base, I went for an armor base. You don't have to, because we have so much armor using the brass dome. We don't have to do it, but either way, it's pretty cool. This is my boot. I have video on it. Burning Ground immunity, so you don't have to run Abberath, so you get an extra Ascendancy to where you can run Shakari or Gruthkul or whatever. I mean Pantheon. And then also we have the brass dome. So I went for a 5% reduced chaos damage taken brass dome with pretty good rolls, and the only reason I did this was because I had a 6-link, 6 white brass dome, and it was 7x at the time, and I saw this one and it was 7x, and I was like, wait, so you're saying that I could sell my 6 white and buy a reduced chaos damage and just reroll the colors to this easy 2 blue, 1 green? Like 1 blue does it so easily. It took me 4 tries or something. It was like no chrome, and then I get a 5% reduced chaos damage taken, spent no money, and it's just a pure upgrade. Okay, sure. So that's what I did. Pog. That's why. So the reduced chaos damage taken isn't required. It's just I got it for free, literally. Okay, and then my staff video on it as well on how to make it. We fractured the minion damage, chaos spammed for the +2, then we couldn't roll attack or something, and then kept re-rolling the physical until we got the physical spell skill gems. Then we crafted on attack speed. And this staff added 20% more damage over cold iron points. Then the belt, we went for this Stygian Vice 85 with this has 92 life, 10% increased life recovery rate 20%, increased attributes. So how I did this is it was a base, an elder base, that had like some of the life already. I think it was like increased life and attributes, and then I literally just slammed life over and over and over, and I got the belt. I'm not joking. And then I still had an open suffix by the end, and I was like, what the hell? Okay. And I crafted on the regen. So when you put on a life catalyst, it went up to 24% life recovery rate, 2.4% life regen, 110 life, 12% increased life, and the attributes is 11 still. You can't roll attributes with harvest, so I started with it. And that was my cool build for that. And I believe those are all the items of gear that I am wearing. Yeah, cool. So just because I didn't do it though, 86 helmet, 82, 100 ring, 86 for the 35 move speed, 85, 83 like I said, and 82, which I think the staff has to be 77 plus, not a war staff, and you should probably go watch the video on how to craft it. And those are all the gear and items. And the price disclaimer again, just in case you're not familiar, multiple mirrors, because these are literally like perfect fucking items almost. Yeah. Cluster jewels, nice. This part's fun. So we run 2 large cluster jewels. These are them. 8 passive skills, exactly 8, very important. Item level 68 plus. I like 68 to 75 so that you can use lower seeds on it for harvest crafting. It's way better. But if you have higher tier seeds, then the item level basically doesn't matter. And so what I went for the large cluster is Primordial Bond, Renewal, Rotting Claws, and my extra suffix is Chaos Res. You technically could add any element, elemental resistance as well, or regen, or chaos res. It's whatever you want. I went for chaos in this case. It was the hardest probably. And I have a video on how to craft the cluster jewels. It's very good. I'm going to probably link to all of these crafting videos below probably. I guess it's like a lot, or you can just go through the channel. It's the same thing, but 4 times medium cluster jewels. I didn't show how to craft these. I haven't crafted them myself. I bought them. So it was 5 to 4 passives. It's the same because you don't allocate the 5th point. If you see it here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't take the 5th. So 4 or 5 is the same. It doesn't matter. And then you get here Dreadmarch Renewal and the open suffixes of whatever you want. So yeah, Dreadmarch Renewal is the priority. Renewal for a damage equivalent to a jewel socket. It's like putting in a Primordial Jewel, and Dreadmarch for the damage, physical damage reduction and the chaos res. Okay, so yeah, you run 2 large clusters and 4 medium clusters in the tree. It's pretty easy. Timeless Jewel. This one's gonna confuse a lot of people. I'll try my best. So we have a Timeless Jewel here. It's the red one, Val Jewel. Glorious Vanity is its name. Sacrifice in the name of Zabakwa is the only thing you need to care about. Don't complicate it. Don't confuse yourself, guys. Just focus on this one thing. Sacrifice in the name of Zabakwa. What does it do? It gives you the Divine Flesh Keystone. What is this thing? This is the picture. What does this do? All damage taken bypasses energy shield. So you're saying that I can't use my energy shield anymore? Yes, but what happens? 50% of LE damage taken as chaos. That doesn't sound very good either, Ethan. What are you doing? Well, what if you get 10% to maximum chaos res? So you have 85 chaos, and so taking half of the LE, instead of against a 75 res, you have an 85. Wait, that's good. That's broken. Wait, isn't this like 5%? It's like running purities. What? For 1 timeless, 1 keystone? That's sick. And it can roll some other good stuff on the corruptions. For example, I'll show you what I have. Most people are going to get upset at this part of the video, but it doesn't matter to me. We have extra 1% chaos res, so I actually have 86, and we have the 18% to chaos resistance here, so that I get some free chaos. I have increased aura effect, I have chaos res, I have lightning res, move speed, so like I can get all these other cool shit, but the main reason was the keystone, and I didn't roll this jewel once. I bought it. So that was just from trade. That's why I'm saying, like, yeah, Primordial Jewels. This is what's in the build. 3 Primordial Eminence, 3 Primordial Harmonies, 1 Primordial Might, 1 Anima Stone. The best Primordial Jewel is an Anima Stone. The next is Primordial Might. The next one after that is a Primordial Harmony, then a Primordial Eminence. Now, this is where people ask me questions. Oh, yeah, Ethan, what's the best balance? Because we played the Stone Golem build and you had to have a balance perfect. This one? No, it's good, dude. Don't worry. It's just going to be which one does more damage, basically. So, always start with Harmony. Second one's Eminence. Third one, Harmony. Fourth one, Eminence. Fifth one, Harmony. Sixth one, Eminence. Wait, really? You just alternate back and forth? That's it? Yeah, until you filled out the tree. It's so fucking easy. It's so fucking easy. And everyone always overthinks this because of all the complications with the Stone Golem in the past. This one's just easy. Dude, Carrion Golems, guys. Carrion Golems. Okay. Abyss Jewels. I get at least 1 taunt, 1 blind. So this first one I have taunt 8%, blind 4%. The 10% LE resistance from this jewel helps cap my minions with the Elemental Army to 80%. So Elemental Army gives 30, which means I take them up to 70%. They're still missing 5 from 75, but Elemental Army also raises their max res by 5, so they go to 80 res, max res, so they're missing 10, so I get 10. Sacrifice would also do the same thing on the skill tree. It's only like 3 points. It also works, but I took it here because then I can also get the Chaos res, damage, life, like... It's not bad. This is now that we can roll like perfect jewels, and we could keep re-rolling this fizz mod until we get a good one, right? But yeah, so the best extra suffix on top of the LE res is chaos res. Prefixes, I get life and physical damage, easy. MTX, the Stygian Carrion Golems. We have a few other MTX in the build. I will go over them now, but thank you guys for hanging out. That is basically everything. I didn't go over my Flasks. It probably should have been included in the gear, but I'll slide it in at the end because we still need to. But yeah, either way, I have the Raised Mummy and Stygian Carrion Golem skin. That's the main stuff, and the rest of it's mostly blight focus because I love blight. Either way, let's go through the flasks. We have this curse immune, enduring mana flask, and so it's to stop cannot regen maps. It's for curse immune. It's for mana. It just feels great. Basalt flask for bleed immune and increased duration because it consumes so many charges and it lasts quite a while. And so we get good stuff on there. We get 5 charges when you take. No. That can't work. I can't take a critical strike. Wait, can I? It reduces the damage. I could take crits. Never mind. Yeah, I thought I trolled. Recharges 5 charges when you take a critical strike, and then 88% increased armor. Dude, watch this. We have 8,200, 20,000. Okay, and then silver flask. We get reduced charges used to lower the charges from 40 to 30. You can also do this on the basalt. You can switch this around so that this has that, and the silver flask has increased duration. But obviously, it's just easier to have more options of acceptable rolls so that you don't spend as much. And so having more options is usually better. And so me showing that you could also do increased duration instead of the reduced charges is nice. And then immune to curse here as well to double stack on this. So when you have, there are some sextants that you'll roll that will make your life flask and mana flask instant, which ruins the enduring, so you won't have the curse immune from the mana flask anymore. And so you actually need the curse on a second flask, and it's actually nice to have 2 for curse immune for temporal chains and the really annoying shit. And then I get reduced charges used here and increased move speed here because when you lower the charges from 20 to 15, so instead of it being 2.5 clicks and you can only click twice, now I can click my Quicksilver 3 times and have a remainder of 5 extra charges. And so it's a huge difference. It's kind of like this one where I can click it twice instead of only being able to click it once. Like the old one was 40 charges out of 60 and you have 20 remaining, so you get 1 click. This one I get 2. This one I get 3. And if you do it to this one, you can get 2 clicks, but the increased duration you sacrifice, and then you have to roll this more to actually get the reduced charges, and it's very annoying. Whereas this was easier. But yeah, that's the overall build. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope a lot of people have fun with the build. This is everything. I threw it all out there. Everyone can play the build. It's going to be disgusting how many people will love this guide, and this is going to blow up Carrion Golems. We're going to see everything skyrocket, the popularity, everything. This is the guide. This is the fun. Boom! It's out here. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you guys for all the support. I can't do this without you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!